Good morning. My name's Ray Cushett. I'm a Vietnam veteran. My time in Vietnam started in 1965, in June 65, when I went to a little place called Binh Ma, to be assigned to the 173rd Airborne Brigade, part of the 173rd Airborne Brigade. My time in Vietnam was very moving in the sense that I was there to help the Vietnamese people for their freedom in their time. I was attached to an infantry section in an infantry battalion, and my role there was search and destroy, and we had a lot of conflict within that time. To come home after Vietnam and to see the response of the Australian people was very hard, with the protest movement the way it was. But then come the fall of Saigon around the end of April 1975, disappointment was my greatest concerns for the Vietnamese people, for all those people who fought for their freedom and the right to be free, and then to find out that the persecution that took place after the fall of Saigon and Vietnam was the most disappointing time for a lot of Australians, for the simple reason being we were there to fight the fight to make sure that for freedom for the Vietnamese people, and to find out later on that the communists got the country, the whole country, and most disappointing.
My service started in Vietnam in 1968, and I was there till 1969, and then I was back in Vietnam again in 71 till 72 for the pull out of all the Australians out of Vung Tau. My thoughts on the Vietnam War is I thought that we were there to help the Vietnam people, but as it turned out, we virtually were no help at all, and I still think they were let down by the United Nations and so forth in the meeting in France. Because the moment everybody pulled out, what they do, the communists took over. Coming back to Australia, I was rather disappointed in the welcome we got, which is land in the middle of the night and go home and talk to nobody. So I was rather disappointed. On the fall of Saigon, I thought that it would have been a foregone conclusion once the decision was made in France and the communists took over. That was the end of it. And I still feel very sorry for the Vietnam people.
Okay. Name's Barry Daly. I was a corporal in the 110 SIG Squadron in Vietnam, 1969-1970. Spent a year over there. Was based at Cho Lon, and had a really difficult time over there. And we put a lot of effort into trying to make sure that the Vietnamese people were able to have their democracy. In 1975, when the North Vietnamese took over, very disappointed in all the effort that we'd put in together with the other nations that joined in the conflict. So, most disappointed. And we're quite proud to have in Australia a fairly good and large Vietnamese community. Recently I had a severe cancer on my leg, and the nurse who treated me was a Vietnamese person, and she come from Vung Tau, and she came over through a family reunion program, but the rest of the family, 13 of the family, came over by boat in 1979. So she's very grateful to be in Australia, and she's a really top nurse. And I'm quite grateful to the people of Vietnam for the opportunity it presented. Thank you.
My name's David Pownall. I was in the Navy from 1966 to 1989. I served in Vietnam. I did 3 trips to Vietnam on HMAS Sydney, the troop transport, taking troops to Vietnam and bringing them back. And then I did one 6-month trip on the HMAS Vendetta on the gun line on off the Vietnamese coast. And in 1972, when the war was over, and consequence to that, in 1975, when the North Vietnamese moved into the south. It was very sad for me, very worried about the people that we went over to help, who then became victims of the communists. And I was very glad to see the people come here to Australia, where most of them have done well, got their own businesses, they've got bake shops, they've got all of the businesses sewn up. They're very happy people, and that's what the Vietnamese people are beautiful. It should never have happened, and I just believe that there's no war that is a good war, and lots of people, innocent people, were killed and maimed, and still being by mines and such, both in South Vietnam, and in our countries by side where mines were put. Very, very sad. But it's just good to see that the South Vietnamese people have made a go. They've come back, and they've come back to be themselves. And they're still themselves, and they look after their own community. They've joined our community. The South Vietnamese people now celebrate Anzac Day with us, Remembrance Day, Long Tan Day, or Vietnam Veterans Day, and they are very happy to be with us and joyous.